My video for April the 3rd, 2019 is video number 3044. And it comes to me from a friend, Jacqueline, and it's actually a quote from Laura Magdalene Eisenhower. The title of the video I've chosen is Connecting to Higher Harmonic Universes, and Laura's blurb goes like this, quote, "Our DNA holds dimensional bands that connect to higher harmonic universes that are a different density, Earth energy, leading all the way back to Lyra and Zero Point unified field and Neutron, or the Neutron window that connects us back with Andromeda, which activates us out of this false galaxy that has been under a net or web. We need to switch these dormant strands on. It holds the codes of alchemical marriage and Hierogamic union. So it is a love story. I have been doing presentations on this for years. Love, unity, and connection to Earth right now is what we need to focus on. All the division, conflict, anticipation, and battles are draining, and it keeps us connected to lower density timelines. But it is a process that is necessary to move through, as long as we keep our eye on the bigger picture and as long as we don't let it hook us in. It is important to share as much as we can about world events and more, but never forget the importance of this. The true Savior is within us, and we are the most advanced technology. Our disempowerment was done on purpose so that we could be easy prey in need of things to look up to or worship, and that we have forgotten ourselves in the process. Admiration and support are, of course, different. So let's refuse to forget that we have the ability to step into our higher or into our avatar consciousness. We are the advanced race that is being bullied by ones that are that comprise their greatness out of service to self, ideologies, revenge, jealousy, and dark energy that we are being taught to emulate, end quote. And again, that was Laura Magdalene Eisenhower, President Eisenhower's granddaughter. And I've been looking at her videos off and on for a long time as well. I had another topic in mind, talking about Earth's wickedest men was going to be my topic, but that can wait for another time. I do agree with Laura that, number one, we have to pay attention to where we are, but number two, we have to also remember where we came from and where we're going. Now, of course, some will argue, well, that's not staying in the present, Ron. We've got to stay in the present. Well, the present has entails that go into the past and future. It's not, again, it's not an either or proposition. Time is made up of past, present, and future, which means our experience as human beings is made up of past, present, and future. And Laura is right that we need to understand where we came from and where we're going beyond the current reality. Because if we just fix on the current reality, we're going to be overwhelmed by it. And that's what's happened to many of us, including myself. At times, I feel absolutely overwhelmed by the situation in which we find ourselves, in which the those that have compromised us seem to be the ones that are pulling all the strings and seem to be the ones in charge. It's very difficult to not see that when you're paying attention, as I do, to current events and things in the geopolitical arena. I see those things, and many of us see those things, but there are those that want to turn their heads and put their heads in the sand as if that's not important. Well, that is important. I'm looking for the changes. I'm anticipating a shift in consciousness. And that shift in consciousness requires us to, number one, know where we are, and number two, again, know where we've been, and number three, know where we're going. I feel like I'm going to a kingdom of heaven on earth, not escaping earth, not escaping the doldrums and the cacophonies and confusion of this world, but transforming myself and others being transformed, that ultimately transform the whole planet into one that works to benefit humanity instead of enslaving us. And we have to admit that we have been enslaved. And it's a delicate balance between getting caught up in the current affairs of the world and also maintaining the vision of and purpose of why we are here and what this is all about. I'm still praying that God is actually involved in all of this, and higher beings as well, angels or extraterrestrials or whatever. And some people think that extraterrestrials, when we do that, that they're only demons. They only see the dark ones. Yes, there are dark ones, but remember, there are always more light ones than dark ones. At least that's the way that I see it, because 1/3 of the angelic realm rebelled against God, which means 2/3 did not. So there are 2 good ETs, if you will, for every bad one, although it doesn't seem that way, because the bad ones seem to have been thrust into positions of power. Actually, they weren't thrust. They thrust us down from positions of knowing, or from the ability to know and to realize our higher connection. In other words, we have forgotten who we really are. And Laura is trying to get us to focus back on who we really are. And yes, there is some kind of an alchemical marriage. There is a union with the higher realm, but we've been programmed to forget that. We've got to see beyond the programming, see beyond the brainwashing, see beyond the control mechanisms that have been set in place by the dark forces, and somehow continue to maintain our aspiration for higher revelations and higher realities that actually overtake the dark limitations that we experience as human beings living on this planet in the 21st century. And we've experienced it a lot of centuries before this one. This is the time of change. This is the time of renewal and regeneration. And I want to keep my focus as best I can on that, without forgetting and without giving up on pointing out the entrapment, because we need to understand where we are and where we're going if we're going to transform. It's not an either or, and I keep saying that. It's not an either or proposition. It's a both and. Both this world we have to be aware of, and that world that we came from and are going to, so that we can actually experience the transformation that so many of us long for in the deepest part of our being. The brainwashing has to end, and we need an awakening. Thank you for listening. Namaste.